Love, Too Dangerous to Survive by Aelius Vero, Rome. In the shadow of the Capitoline Hill, where the ancient stones of Rome still whisper of blood and glory, stood the fortress of the Veronian clan, a lineage of iron-willed legionaries who had carved their name into history with the edge of the gladius. Across the Tiber, in the gilded villas of the Aemilian quarter, dwelled their eternal foes, the Aemilii, merchants of silk and secrets, whose wealth bought senators and whose daggers silenced dissent. For 3 centuries, the two houses had waged war in the streets, the courts and the shadows. No treaty endured, no mercy was given. Lucius Vero was the youngest centurion of his line, 21 winters old, with eyes like storm clouds over the Alban hills, and arms forged in the fires of the 10th Legion. He had killed his first man at 16, a hired blade of the Aemili, and wore the scar across his ribs like a badge of honor. Love to Lucius was a weakness fit only for poets and fools. One moonless night, during the festival of Ceres, Lucius slipped into the Aemilian enclave disguised as a wine merchant. His mission, to learn when the next assassination would strike his father, the aging General Vero. The villa was alive with music, torchlight, and the scent of roasted peacock, and there, beneath a canopy of ivy, he saw her, Livia Aemilia. The only daughter of Senator Gaius Aemilius, she moved like a flame through the crowd, hair black as a raven's wing, eyes the green of the Tiber in spring. She wore a stola of crimson silk, and when she laughed, the sound cut through Lucius like a pilum. He forgot his mission. He forgot his name. The next night he returned, not as a spy, but as a man possessed. "You are Vero's son," Livia said when he found her in the garden, her voice steady but her fingers trembling on the stem of her wine cup. "If my father sees you, he'll have you flayed in the forum." "Then let him try," Lucius replied, stepping into the moonlight. "I came to see if the stories were true." "What stories?" "That an Aemilia could make a Vero forget how to hate." She should have screamed. She should have called the guards. Instead, she kissed him. They met in secret after that, beneath the aqueducts, in the ruins of the Temple of Venus Genetrix, where the statues of forgotten gods watched in silence. Lucius taught her the grip of a gladius. Livia taught him the language of the stars. "I dream of a Rome without blood in the gutters," she whispered one night, her head against his chest. "A city where a Vero and an Aemilia could walk the Via Sacra hand in hand." Lucius laughed, bitter and soft. "Rome was built on blood. It will end in it. But love is a reckless god." Word reached the Aemili first. Livia's brother Titus, a tribune with a face carved from marble and a heart of flint, vowed to gut Lucius in the Circus Maximus. Then the Veronians heard. General Vero summoned his son to the atrium. "End it," he commanded, "or I will end you both." Lucius and Livia chose exile. On a night when Jupiter hurled thunder across the sky, they fled Rome on stolen horses, cloaks soaked with rain. Behind them, the horns of pursuit echoed through the hills. Titus led the hunt, his men armed with crossbows and vengeance. They made their stand on the ancient Appian Way, where the tombs of the dead lined the road like silent sentinels. Lucius fought like a demon. His gladius sang, severing limbs and lives. Livia, no longer the delicate senator's daughter, wielded a dagger with feral grace. But there were too many. A bolt took Lucius in the thigh. He fell to one knee. Titus advanced, sword raised. "For my sister's honor," he snarled. Livia stepped between them. "Your sister's honor is her own to give." Titus hesitated, only for a heartbeat. Long enough for Lucius to rise, to drive his blade through the tribune's throat. But the damage was done. Another bolt found Livia's heart. She crumpled beside Lucius, her blood mingling with the rain on the ancient stones. "Livia!" His voice broke. She smiled, weak and radiant. "We were never meant to survive this love, Lucius. But we lived it." He held her as the light left her eyes. Then with the last of his strength, he carried her body to the tomb of the Scipios and laid her within, sealing the entrance with his own hands. When Titus's men found him at dawn, he did not resist. They chained him, dragged him back to Rome, and crucified him on the Esquiline Hill. The feud ended that spring. General Varro and Senator Emilius met beneath the arches of the Colosseum, both men aged a decade in a single night. No words were spoken, only a silent pact. The children's blood had paid the debt. Years later, travelers on the Appian Way spoke of a strange sight, a crimson flower blooming from the cracks of an ancient tomb, where no seed had ever been planted. And on certain nights, when the wind carried the scent of rain, two shadows were seen walking hand in hand.